Welcome to our September community update. Just a couple quick admin announcements before we get started. We do have some tables in the back, so please make sure you visit the booths. There's a lot of good information back there. Thank you to the Red Cross, as always, for providing coffee for us. Very much appreciated. There is a sign-in sheet going around, so please make sure you update your information on the sign-in sheet. If you see that there are folks on there that are no longer here and you're aware of that, please cross them off and then please update with current information. We do record the community update, so if you have a question, please wait for the microphone to come to you so that we can capture your question on video. And then also the video link and the slides will be uploaded onto the MWR website, which can be located off the JBLM main page. And there's a big red button on there that says Community Update. And at this time, I will turn it over to Colonel Lucas.
Thanks, Alicia, and good morning, everyone. Again, welcome to the Community Update. It's my second one, so I'm glad to be here. If I haven't met you yet, my name is Colonel Nicole Lucas. I'm the Garrison Commander here on JBLM. So I have just a couple of points to make this morning before I hand it off to General Valesky. But first of all, so I'm sort of looking at how do we shape this community update, because it's really our community update. So we have a lot of good information that we're going to show you this morning, but the first thing I want to tell you is there's a form on your table that we would really appreciate your feedback on in terms of, does this meet your needs? So as a command team, units, and the spouse command team, what are the things that you would like to hear in here on a monthly basis that helps you be able to plan and see down the road? And how do we, because to me, especially being so new to JBLM, it really feels like there is a plethora of information. There's calendars, there's ways that we're sharing all the things that are happening and available to you here, but how can we help you have better visibility of those, or how do we shape those so that they meet the needs of you and your units, your families? So one is, this is the way to do it. The other way to do it is, please just tell me personally anytime you get a chance. I'm glad to take those cards, letters, personal feedback anytime you have it. And I'll put in a plug. My husband is Colonel Lang Lucas. He's sitting over here. He will take those as well, whether he likes it or not. And so please, that feedback is important. And as I make my way, my plan is to get around to at least every one of the brigade-sized units to understand your missions and how we support you, but I am really looking for that feedback kind of from all levels so that we can provide what it is you need and that this is time well spent for you once a month. Two other things I wanted to highlight. This is kind of a forward-looking day, so we'll talk about some of the things that are in the future, but kind of two events that are staring us down in September I wanted to make sure I highlighted is on the 16th of September is Oktoberfest. Please don't ask me why Oktoberfest is in September. But we are doing Oktoberfest on 16 September, and that's also tied to the community flea market, which I know is a big event on JBLM. So I wanted to make sure I highlighted that date. And if you have questions about that, please ask that, because I'm sure we can answer those. And then the other one is on the 26th of September is the FRG Leaders Symposium. Is that right, Alicia? Thank you. Yes. So the FRG Leaders and Symposium, that's at the American Lakes Club. It's in the morning of the 26th. I know that 26th is a busy day, but that's a big event. I know that happens for all of the command teams, so I wanted to make sure I highlighted that. Again, if you have questions on that, we can definitely answer those for you here this morning. And last thing, the salmon run. It's actually not like the fish doing anything, but it's actually a run. That's this weekend, and only 153 people have signed up for that. We can definitely handle a lot more. So if you're here this Saturday, come out and do that salmon run. I think that'll be a neat event here on JBLM. Sir, over to you.
How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Hey, my sergeant major made a great point. He said, how come we don't recognize anybody at this forum? So I'm going to recognize your command sergeant major, because your command sergeant major, for the entire 5 months that I've been here, has been a guy that has just been a go-to guy that has really driven the work that we've done here. And so thanks for all you do. So give him a round of applause. Thank you very much. You're an awesome man. Hey, Reba. Well, I was just commenting as well to Leanne. I said, man, when I came to this first one a few months ago, there were like 10 empty tables. We're almost there. And I think this is a really, really important event. And so I fully support what Nicole said about how do we make this better for you. You know, as we talked about last time, there's a lot of information. How much can we just hand you versus what do you really want to talk about? So if you see something in this handout that she gave you that you say, you know, I got all the information on all these things, but here's one of the things I really want to talk about, please put that there. Because then what we'll do is we'll start to make themes for our next one. So if some people say, hey, I want to talk about X, the next one, that'll be the topic so that we can get your feedback. That's one of the things that I really want to drive this meeting to be, is more dialogue about what meets your needs and what doesn't meet your need. Because we got a lot of people putting in a lot of time here, and time is the only thing I can't give you any more of or give you back. So thanks again for all you're doing. It's going to be a busy few months as you look at the calendar. You know, this garrison staff and the Corps and a lot of the tenant units are going to be running really hard until probably the first of the year. And so I know on a personal note, I think we've got 6 days in like October that we're going to be here. I don't know. It's just a mess. So we're going to rely on all of you to keep things like you always do moving. And I think Nicole's been in command now 30 days, a little over a month. So you got it all. I don't have to do anything anymore. All right, thank you. Have a great day. Reba, you want to say anything?
Yeah, my apologies for being late coming over from the other side, but it really is good to be here. One of the amazing things about joint basing is just the resources that it brings, and forums like this are just a reminder of that. So I'm glad it's such an inclusive environment, and the number of Air Force participants here is really reflective of that. My thanks to Nicole Lucas and her team for supporting us over in the 62nd. In fact, all the Air Force partners over there. So thank you, sir, for hosting us over here today.
Good morning. My name is Beth Ellis, and I am your Community Ready and Resilient Integrator. Don't worry about that acronym. So what I just want to highlight today is that this month, across the nation, we're observing Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, or as we like to positively affirm here, it's Value of Life Month. There are a few events going on, and to highlight these dates for our guest speakers, for Mr. Hines is confirmed for the 22nd, as well as the Lunch and Learn is confirmed for Mr. Bauman. So just to note what you'll be seeing coming out through your unit channels, a Value of Life card that's going to be displaying what we believe here at JBLM and First Corps. And essentially what it is just an affirmation of your value to the team. And so that's going to be coming out through our chaplain channels. Also, you'll be seeing these come out, and we're going to be working with our risk reduction team with ASAP. These are gun locks. They'll be provided for anyone who is looking for them. And so what we noticed at JBLM here, over 60% of our suicides, firearms are involved. And so we want to promote safety, and we want to promote the value of every community member. And so with that, I will turn it over to our next speaker.
Okay, so promoting volunteerism. Every October we do promote Make a Difference Day. And this year, October 28th, from 10 until 2, we are going to be doing one big group project this year instead of several small projects. And that will be helping the Prairie Oak Preserve. We're going to have a cleanup day. So we encourage anyone who would want to volunteer that day to sign up and help. There's a lot of work that needs to be done out there. And we hope that you will help support us on this day. That's it.
Good morning. I'm B. Westcott Curl, and I'm the Child and Youth Services Chief, and I'm here to talk a little bit about different opportunities for spouses as well as about our child care offerings. Most people are understanding that we have child care centers on post. Those are like out and about, and everybody knows where they are. But there's something that sometimes we keep hidden, which is a gem on this installation, which is our family child care program. And we are right now looking for people to come and participate in the training and become a provider. The providers, a lot of people don't know that the providers are better trained in some respects than the center-based people because they're by themselves. They're fully background checked. They get state-of-the-art training, and the cool thing is that all the equipment that you could ever need for opening up your own home childcare is provided. And so this is also a best-kept secret as a job opportunity for spouses who go installation to installation or base to base that need an extra job or a job they can take with them. We also are really needing providers on the Air Force side of the house, or side of the post, because we have a lot of after-hours folks, and the Air Force does subsidize our family child care providers. And then we also have training going on. Orientation starts the 12th of September, and in the back I have my family child care director, Grace Schricker, and I also have some folks from the SKIES program and school support services. If you need any information, we'll be back there after this. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Joe Peak. I'm the JBLM Joint Base Headquarters Public Affairs Officer. Now that we have completed most of the summer turnover of senior leaders across the base, I just wanted to give everybody a quick reminder about news media access to JBLM. Only public affairs officers, military or civilian, are authorized to escort news media onto the base. And it only happens about once or twice a year that we find out that media have been invited to the base by some enterprising family that want to have their Como 4 come and cover their child's lemonade stand or something like that, but it does happen. So if you hear about an event within your unit or somebody that's invited the media to come to the base, or you have something going on, work with your unit public affairs officer. All of the major units on base have public affairs officer, Army and Air Force. And then there's also my two guys at the bottom, Gary Dangerfield and Joe Kubistek. If you're not sure whether this is something that we can invite media to, give us a call. And then we'll work with you on getting the media onto the installation, doing the media invite and everything. If you have any questions afterwards, I'll be over here at the table and I'd be happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Colonel Mike, Place Commander Madigan. I suspect I've met most of you, but if not, please grab me afterwards. We'll talk in details about anything in particular that you have in terms of feedback for Madigan. Why don't you go to the next slide, please? On your table, you have something that looks a little bit like this, a little flyer, okay? So I just want to make sure that everyone is tracking MHS Genesis, our new electronic health record. I know I've talked about that several times here. On the back side of that, go to the next slide. It looks a little bit like this. Some information I think it's important that you know. Because we're transitioning all of our electronic records, so our inpatient, our outpatient, our dental records, all are coming to a single system. We're going to be committed to doing a lot of data transfer and data verification and all the rest after we go live on the 21st of October. So, in real practical terms, for at least the first 2 weeks afterwards, we are essentially cutting in half all of our outpatient visits. Okay, so across the installation, the first 2 weeks after the 21st of October will be difficult to have any kind of routine healthcare maintenance. So I will say it again. If you're due for a routine preventative screen of some kind, some sort of dermatology cancer check, if you're looking for a well-woman exam, now is the time to make that appointment. Otherwise, we're going to ask that you're probably going to have to wait till November, December, or even January in order to get that appointment. So please, spread the word for us that they can do that. After the 21st of October, we do anticipate there's going to be longer waiting times at the pharmacy, just because of all of the additional verifications that we're going to have to do between multiple systems to make sure we have it correct for you. So that's been the experience at Fairchild Air Force Base. It's been the experience up at Oak Harbor for the Navy, who have both gone live to the systems. So what we've asked for folks to do is if you take routine medicines, you can come by and we will give you your refills early. So you can stock up now if you take a regular medication so you don't have to come by right after the 21st of October. So please spread the word. If people would like to do that, they can do that now. That will give us a little bit less work to do immediately thereafter. The lab is a similar sort of situation. So if you have some sort of test that is outstanding on the 21st of October, that's a Saturday, I would really like you to do it before then. So if you have, I don't know, a routine cholesterol check, or your doctor just wanted to check on, whatever, your blood count, okay? Please come ahead of time, because what we have to do is then go through multiple systems in order to verify the order and transpose the order over. If you just come in early, when they put the order in, then we can just go ahead and knock it out and have it all be done and have that much less information we have to transfer between systems and that many fewer errors that we would eventually have. If not, we will still do it. It's just you need to know it's going to take you a little bit longer to get that done. Same thing for referrals. Because of the way that the digits fly across the internet, I am concerned that there's the possibility that your referral may get lost, okay, within all of the migration of all the different data points. So for the first couple of months after we go live, I would ask that you take a hard copy. We can print them off for you that says that Dr. Place referred me to somebody, okay? Just keep a hard copy to make sure that you have that so we can talk specifically over exactly what it is that I wrote on that referral for you. So some tips for you. We'll talk about the patient portal in just a second. We're going to have Relay Health, our current secure messaging system. Some of you probably already signed up for that. You can email your provider. You can check online results and things like that. We're going to a different secure messaging system. Okay, so don't get rid of Relay Health, particularly if you're likely to PCS. Okay, say that again. If you're likely to PCS, you're going to want to keep that Relay Health account, because when you go to another location that does not yet have MHS Genesis, guess what? You're going to want to use Relay Health. So don't throw it away. Keep your password and all the rest of that. For those of you who are going to be here, go to the next slide, please. There's a couple different ways that the new portal is going to allow you in. So you can use a CAT card. For active duty folks, that works great. For family members, that's a little bit more difficult. So we also can use the DS login accounts or MyPay accounts. So if you have one of those, then you'll be able to get in with those accounts. If you don't have a MyPay account or you don't have a CAT card, everybody can sign up for a DS login. So this is how you do that. We'll make sure that we disseminate that information for everyone. Next slide, please. Next time we get together, we're going to do something like this. This is just an example of what the patient portal is. I think most people are most interested in this particular aspect of it, so we'll kind of walk you through what that looks like. But you're going to be able to see your lab tests. You're going to see summaries of your clinical encounters. You're going to be able to see referrals, all that sort of thing here in a single system. So an expanded capability for the patient portal for you that you have compared to Relay Health now. Next slide, please. And lastly, I'll leave you with the flu drive. This is the dates that we have for this year. We have our flu en route. I want to remind everyone, a couple things. Flu mist, don't take it. Okay, for active duty personnel, it won't count for you. You're going to have to get a shot anyway. For the rest of you, it's not reimbursable by TRICARE. So you can get it, but you're going to have to pay for it yourself. The other thing I would remind you of, before you get, many of you are going to go down to a civilian pharmacy to go ahead and get your flu vaccine. That's awesome. Please do that. That's fine. But please check ahead of time to make sure that they accept TRICARE, because Target and CVS are no longer TRICARE providers. So they won't get reimbursed. You won't get reimbursed for that. In fact, we won't reimburse anybody for anything related to this. Ask if they take TRICARE, and if they try to tell you there's an additional $5 processing fee or this or that or the other fee, the answer is, thank you, no. TRICARE doesn't pay for that. That's already been agreed to with all the contracts and so forth. So TRICARE will fully reimburse, no additional charges. So please don't pay any extra money. Every year we have some folks come and say, whatever pharmacy someplace is at, charge us extra money, can you reimburse us? We can't. Please tell folks, don't pay any of those kinds of fees. Those are not legal, okay? All right, any questions for me? Okay, once again, please, Sir Major.
Will this affect? Beat you. Sir, will this affect anybody who's getting ready to retire November, December, January? And if so, what do they need to be thinking of as they're getting medical records or doing that process?
Yeah, so So great question. We've done a lot of work to make sure that we have access to all of those. We're going to be maintaining Alta, CHCS, and Essentris and all the other things for a long period of time afterwards so that we can do exactly those sorts of things. So I don't think there's anything you need to do. We'll still provide you both a digital and hard copy as we do currently. We just have to pull from multiple systems, and our administrative folks are all prepared to do that. So I would say, however, that make sure that you schedule your routine physical early if you can. All right? Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, I will be around afterwards. If you have any specific questions that you'd like to ask personally, I'll be here. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Kathy with the Department of Public Works Environmental Division. We have a great program here called Go Lewis McChord, and here we're showing you the amount of space required to transport the same number of passengers by car, bus, or bicycle. As you've been waiting at the gate, maybe the DuPont gate, know that there is a Go Lewis McChord shuttle bus that runs from the park and ride there over to the base. And also we have a Go Bike program, bike share. Next slide. As a matter of fact, we're looking for new bike share locations. We have 4 sites right now. They're highlighted there, and we have maybe 5 bikes for each new additional site available. These bikes are available on a one-day checkout to 30-day checkout. We're expanding the program to include additional spaces and units, and they come with helmets, lights, vests, and it's a great way to get around base. Again, they're very utilized at McChord and at reception right now, but we want to increase our access. Next slide, please. The month of September is a sustainable procurement month. So once again, you're shopping for your school clothes, your school supplies. Think green before you buy. We do here at JBLM. We're very clear on our procurement requirements, and we encourage everybody at home to do the same thing. Next slide, please. Joint Base Lewis McChord has its own rules about washing cars, and one of them is not in your driveway. If you're living in housing, make sure you're washing your car at the MWR Autocraft shops or at a car wash. Once again, we only want rain down the drain. If you have any questions about water, you can come and talk to me either at the back or Mr. Markham here at the table. But we are currently a Water Conservation Measure 2, which limits watering your lawns. Next slide, please. Air quality is a real concern right now. Just to remind you, if you're burning a fire pit at home, make sure you're not burning right now. We can't, it's a burn ban that's on there. We have real restrictions on how those are burned at the housing level. But once again, you can't burn trash. You can't burn your personal documents. If you have stuff that needs to be shredded, know that there is a shred date every month, the first Friday of every month at building 3152B. And if you need more information, come and see me. But there's no burning of your personal documents. And if you're going to recycle your personal stuff, keep in mind that our contractor, LeMay, packs all that stuff up and sends it over to China. So make sure whatever you don't want going to China is shredded. All right? Thank you very much. Have any questions? Yes, sir.
Hey, good morning, ma'am. So my quick question here is between the burn ban and the water conservation. Where are those published?
Okay, if we go back a slide, Alicia. There's the water conservation memo right there, but I do have some hard copies at
my
desk.
concern, though, is how this has went out to our airmen and our soldiers.
Okay.
So I know myself, I did see something about water conservation on Facebook about a month and a half ago. Haven't seen anything officially since then. I know there was a bunch of questions about the policy. And then as far as the burn ban, I've actually never seen it anywhere other than in these forums.
Okay. Well, Sustainable JBLM does post daily, so that's our Facebook page. But we can certainly work on additional outreach. Good idea.
Hey, Nicole. Here's what I want to have happen. For all of these things, I want the garrison commander to send a note to all the lieutenant commanders and their sergeant majors and say, here are all the policies that we put into effect. Because I was tracking the water conservation piece. I think I was gone when the burn ban came out. So let's cut to the chase, get it to all the commanders and CSMs so that they can inform their soldiers. And then we need to put a expiration date on this thing. So we say conservation for the next 60 days if it goes earlier, or we're going to extend it so we continue to catch the new teammates, okay?
Acknowledge, sir. Got it.
Is that going to help?
Thank you,
Does that
Chief.
help?
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kelly, and I'm here with MWR. Just to give you a quick rundown of some of the things that we've got going on this month. The salmon run up at the top. You have until 11:59 tonight to register online if you'd like to do that run. Otherwise, you have to show up and pay extra money to run on the 9th. Star Wars Day. We celebrate this every year at the library. It's a huge deal. If you like to dress up as your favorite Jedi, or the kids, and it's kids to adults, it's not just the kids that get to play. You can come. They've had lightsaber fights. They've had the whole. So the Star Wars Day is what you want to celebrate. And then the flea market. We've combined the flea market with our Oktoberfest celebration this year. Flea market starts at 11. Goes from 11 to 5. Oktoberfest is from 2 till 10 in the same location at the MWR Fest tent. They're going to tap a keg, officially kick off Oktoberfest. And officially, Oktoberfest does start in September in Germany. So that's why we've started in September this year. So next slide, please. Just a couple of events that are happening. You've got some information about outdoor rec kind of stuff, youth Halloween parties, the Commander's Cup swim meeting, and then the Commander's Cup swim meet are on there. If you have squadrons or units who want to participate, or folks that want to play in sports, get in touch with our intramural sports folks so that they can get you in. Soccer season is starting, football season is starting, we'll have basketball in the winter, so everybody is welcome to come out and play. We have Commander's Cup sports as well as intramural sports and women's only sports, so that means family members can play in certain situations as well. And then the Big Bang Variety Show is an Army entertainment program that is going to swing through here. They just set the location as Nelson Recreation Center, so it'll be here in this building. It is for 18 and older only, just because of the nature of the show, but we'll get some more information on that later. And then the next slide. I want to talk real quick about our new Club Rewards program. The McChord Club is transitioning as part of an Air Force program to no more credit card, which is a good thing for the members. That means that member dues come out of whatever account you want them to, and we actually talk about we've lightened your wallet. Not in the way that we're taking your money, but we're getting rid of a card that you have to carry. So you have an option to either carry it on the app, which you can show with your smartphone, or we'll actually print you a physical card. And that card gets you discounts at MWR facilities as well as your club membership. So you can save $1 off a food purchase at Habanero or either of the bowling center snack bars. You save $2 off a $20 food purchase at Sam Adams. You can save 10% off equipment rental. There's a list of 17 different items that you get discounts on. And it's funny, I talk to a lot of folks when we're transitioning people and it's like, oh, so I just get one free small bucket of range balls at the golf course? No. Every time you go to either golf course and you show that card, you get a free small bucket of range balls. So even at that, $3-4 every time you get a bucket of range balls, you've paid for your membership if you're a golfer. So take a look at the discounts that we offer. You can go online to JBLMEMC.com. There's a link right there, a big blue button that says membership, club membership, and you can go and find out what we're offering. And then I don't usually just carry my phone with me everywhere, so I'm using this because we mentioned there are a lot of new folks in the room, people who haven't been here. We have an app. And the app is on my phone. This is the events page. If you want to know what's happening in the month of September, we have an MMWR app. Go to any app store. It's absolutely free. You can load it on your phone, and it gives you a calendar of events. It gives you a link to our website. From there, you can go to our Facebook page. You've got a directory of every MWR facility on this base. And it gives you a map and uses the GPS on your phone to give you turn-by-turn directions to any MWR facility. So if you want to go from Nelson Rec, which is an MWR facility, to Sam Adams or the Warrior Zone or to Sounders Lanes, It gives you turn-by-turn directions so that you can get there and not have to worry about A, getting on the freeway if it's blocked up, and B, getting lost on the way. So if you want more information about the app, come and talk to me afterwards and I'll guide you through it. Thanks a lot.
So I was one of the people who went and got the new account. Just yesterday, I think I received a card from Chase saying, here's your new Freedom Card. Is that the same thing? Are they switching that over?
No, that is not a club card. That
Okay.
is a replacement. You have the choice of keeping that card. If you don't want that credit card, destroy it and they cancel your account. But the club card, the old one that has the Air Force logo on it, that is transitioning. That will no longer be eligible to be used the middle of October. So by October 15th, that account will be closed. So you transition it online, and if you haven't transitioned your account yet, you can come by the club and we can actually do it right there for you. All right?
People are going to need to cancel their account.
Well, that new Chase card, if they don't want it, they'll need to cancel it and not use it.
Do you have any updated information on how many people are opting into the new program versus opting out? I know that was a large amount of our revenue at the club.
I do. As of yesterday, from what I can tell from the program, we have 365 folks have opted in, which is far greater than many other bases have had. And we did that in 15 days, so we were very good about it. We have had a handful of folks opt out, but the difference between 365 and the 1,200 members that we had is huge. So we're at the point right now where we're going to be emailing and phone calling members to find out what their wishes are, whether they want to remain members of the club, whether we can transition them right there, or whether they want to opt out.
Good morning, leaders, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chaplain Mark Gauthier, the Garrison Chaplain and Senior Pastor for the Lewis, Maine Protestant Congregation. As you look at the slide up here, our goal is to have as many kickoffs as the NFL in the next couple of weeks or two. If you look on your table, you'll see a flyer that is labeled Faith and Family University. What this is, it's a new program initiative for spiritual readiness and resiliency, one program, two campuses, over at Lewis, Maine, and then over at the Chapel Support Center. And the vision for the Faith and Family University night is Sergeant Snuffy with his wife and kids can pull up in their minivan, open the doors, get a light meal, and have program activities for each and every one of those, pre-K to pre-death. It's all available at Faith and Family University night, and those will be kicking off on Wednesday. And if you look at the middle section of programs, can anyone finish this statement? If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. That's right. And we all know the collateral blessing when mama is happy. And so what these programs provide for us is for our spouses and female military members to be involved in healthy community and uplifting programs and opportunities for them to get plugged into. If you focus your attention on the bottom slide of the Reboot program, what this is, it is a faith-based PTSD combat stress recovery program that is sponsored by the Warrior Transition Battalion. The intent is 12 lessons, not 12 steps, but also to build a community of other folks who are wrestling with these issues, as well as their families who are wrestling with these issues. And so if you'd like more information for that, Chaplain Bolts, the WTB chaplain, is the POC for that. Are there any questions that I can answer for you this morning? Yes, ma'am. Way in the back.
Sorry, thank you. The Catholic Women of the Chapel meets next Thursday, the 14th. That's the kickoff.
Great.
And childcare is available.
Thank you for that. Anything else? Great. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Heath Taylor Gonzalez. I'm here at Fort Lewis Commissary on management training. I'm going to speak briefly about your commissary benefit. First off, as you can see, we have a sidewalk sale coming up for our Lewis, Maine. It's going to be 8th through 10th. At McChord, it's going to be September 15th through 17th. This is a great opportunity for you guys to pick up all your back-to-school needs, great sales, great deals. It's not a case lot, so it won't be full cases. It will be single items, but they are great deals. That being said, I also have a flyer here to give out today if you want one. Next slide, please. Also, if you shopped recently, I'm sure you've seen our store brands around. We have Childcare, Home Base, and Freedom's Choice. These items offer great savings as well as they're really good quality. So these are items, keep an eye out for them, and please give them a try. Next, please. I know it's hard to believe, but Halloween is very, very soon. This year is flying by, so you can pick up your goods at any time. We have a great display out back in our Valley Village. Next slide, please. Oh, last slide, but one thing that's not on there I want to add is we also have a tailgating coupon booklet. This booklet offers up to 30% off, or $30 off of your meat and pork items. So if you use them in conjunction with the back-to-school stuff, it's a great deal. And I also have these to hand out today as well. Thank you. Any questions?
Good morning, I'm Sylvia with the Exchange. I'm just going to highlight a couple of our events coming up on our slides. McChord Main Store and Lewis Main Store will be joining the commissary for their case lot sale. September 9th, next slide. September 9th, we have a free screening of American Assassin. The tickets are available now at the Lewis Exchange Manager's office. Next slide. September 14th through 18th, the Exchange is supporting the Army Emergency Relief and the Air Force Assistance Funds agencies. With a $5 donation, you will receive a $5 coupon for a future purchase of $25 or more. Next slide. Again, every year we have You Made the Grade, so this is a nice program. Next slide. And effective November 11th, we have our Veterans Online Shopping Benefit Program. Eligible veterans will be able to shop online at our shopmyexchange.com. You can sign up early. Just go to vetverify.com. Any questions? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bill Adamson. I manage a partnership of 52 organizations that are all off base, except for JBLM is a member of this partnership, and it's called the South Sound Military and Communities Partnership. So where you got so far a lot of good information about what's happening on the installation, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what's going off the installation. And in reality, more of you live off installation than on installation. Well over 70% of your soldiers and airmen live off base. So this is photo shot just a couple weeks ago with the 100th anniversary of Camp Lewis, JBLM. Most of you leaders were there, and I just wanted to show you that's an indication of how community leaders and military leaders do have some opportunity for dialogue and interchange. Next slide, please. So what I want to do is explain quickly what this organization is, and if I could, just by show of hands, who wasn't here 4 months, 5 months ago? So well over half of you are pretty new and probably don't know much about this organization. So back around the time of the turn of the century, when I was here as a major in the Army, there was only about 19,000 or so Army on Fort Lewis and a little over 4,000, I think, Air Force at the time. And then this thing called 9/11 happened, and then all the deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan started. And so the population on base swelled from about 20,000 to 46,000 over the course of about 7 years. And during that time, there was a thing called BRAC that happened in 2005. And one of the things that came out of BRAC was the joint basing concept. And around 2010 is when Fort Lewis McChord combined to become Joint Base Lewis McChord. The study that that put together the data for that decision came from a study called the Growth Coordination Plan that was funded by the Department of Defense. They have an office called the Office of Economic Adjustment. You see the logo up on the slide. When that Growth Coordination Plan came out, one of the major findings and recommendations was that this region needs to do a better job collaborating and coordinating with the base and the communities around it. And so that's how SSMCP came to be. In about 2011, it was formed by a memorandum of agreement. We are not a nonprofit. We are not a government entity. We are just formed by a memorandum of agreement by all the local jurisdictions around here. There's over 17 local jurisdictions that JBLM is invested in, and a bunch of other organizations that have banded together to be a conduit for a bridge between the military and the communities where most of you live. We do a lot of studies, joint land use studies on where are the sensitive areas for training and operations that intersect with off-base communities so that when there's growth and land development, we're not encroaching on the training and operations that happen on the base. There are several cases where we're continuing to work those issues for you and with you, and I'm not going to get into those details today, but that's one of the major things we spend money on. Next slide, please. So we came up with a mission statement like any good military organization. There it is. I want to talk about the organization. Across the top, you see logos for some of the more engaged communities. The top four there, Pierce County, City of Lakewood, City of Lacey, and JBLM, are members of our executive leadership team. They help the day-to-day operations of what our organization does. Below that, the city of Yelm, which is the fastest growing city in Washington State right now, and it's over 40% military. DuPont, which has the highest concentration of military around this area. City of Tacoma, Thurston County, the Nisqually tribe that has a lot of land use issues around the perimeter of JBLM, and University Place. All of those guys are our steering committee, and in combination with our executive team there, form our decision-making body. And then along the bottom, you see a lot of logos, our working group chairs. Those are the folks that get things done for us. We have a number of areas that we work on: transportation, education, health care, social services, economic and business development, and then these things called land use studies. Next slide. So I mentioned that you're invested in 17 communities. This graphic shows and is color-coded by how many military, active duty, and DoD civilians live in different places. And in the bright red there by Lacey, that's got a really high concentration right now and it's mostly because folks are opting to move south where they can buy maybe a little bit better house for the money and then drive the 7 or 8 miles north, which makes the traffic problem on I-5 what it is today. And we've done studies where you can see folks living all the way up into Bremerton, a few over in Gig Harbor, out to the east in Graham, up in Auburn. That's the breadth and width of where your soldiers and airmen live right now. Next slide. We have elected officials, councils. It's not just for elected officials, but we gather twice a year. General Valesky was able to attend the last one we had in May. So this is about every 6 months we do this. The next one's coming up 21 November. We typically have our local congressmen, our state senators, representatives, and any of you that are leaders that want to attend. We've already got about 90 of the civilian side who have RSVP'd to come to this thing in November. That counts no military. So we're going to have a very, very good attendance if we've already got 90 here and we're early in September. We're going to be supporting an Association of Defense Communities Forum down in San Diego in February, and we're going to be doing a presentation about the McChord North Clear Zone and what we're doing to rectify that encroachment issue. We have a survey coming up in April. In a slide here, I'm going to just give you the highlights of the last survey we did in 2016, but we're going to be building that out and sending it out in April. And what we could really use commanders' help on is command emphasis. I mean, I was a soldier once. I know how many surveys you guys have to take. But this survey helps the communities right around here where you're living. And so you can help us craft that survey. We're going to be building it in the next few months. and we're going to send it out to all the .mil email addresses that are associated with JBLM in the April timeframe. And then we have another elected officials council already calendared for May. Next slide. I mentioned the survey from last year, so we've been doing surveys for several years now. We're going to build trends. Hey, your number one problem on base is traffic congestion and getting to the base. The most heavily trafficked gates are Madigan and the DuPont gate. About 60% of your active duty rent, 40% own. If you include the DoD civilians, those numbers are reversed. 60% own, 40% rent, at a median rent of about $1,500 a month. Your number one requested service is behavioral health counseling. At 15% of your population request behavioral health counseling. This continues to build. Transitioning soldiers and airmen. It was surprising to me, but we did the survey in 16 in the month of June. 59% were transitioning out. 59% of that 59% had chosen to stay in the South Sound area. So well over half of you, when you transition out, are choosing to stay in the South Sound area. That was up pretty significantly from 2013. And then lastly, a decline in the satisfaction rate in public education. More and more folks are opting for private schools or homeschooling as you continue to rotate to different bases. But here we're seeing a decline here from 2013 to 2016 in the satisfaction of public schools. And I think last slide, some of you have seen these signs around. Back in 2016, South Sound Military and Communities Partnership nominated to Congress, a caucus in Congress, that the South Sound be recognized as a great American defense community. And we were one of the first 10 to get that recognition. So you see these roadsides and banners out there. I won't get into the criteria for what it took to get this, but it's a pretty good honor when only 10 communities in the United States have it. And that's going to continue to build out over the years. So thank you, and if you need anything from your community leaders, we're the go-to place to get that information. Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Serena West, and I am the president of the Lewis Community Spouses Club. I just want to express our sincere thanks on behalf of the club for you all getting the information out to your spouses about Super Sign Up. We had a really great turnout, and 137 spouses signed up, which is amazing. We're starting the year with just under 170 at current membership. This year, we are not doing a mock dining in. I know several units have already asked if that's happening. We are opting to do a wicked good costume party instead. So we'll keep the element of themed costumes for the units. There will still be prizes. We've just kind of taken out some of the events that are unique to mock dining in. So I encourage you to get spouses together in your units. You do not have to be a member to attend this event. All spouses are welcome to attend one event without being a member, though we do hope you do decide to join. Any questions? Yes.
How do you join if you miss the sign up?
Okay, so good question. How do you join if you miss Super Sign Up? You can go to our website, www.lewiscommunityspousesclub.org, and there's a form there to fill in for membership as well as to sign up for luncheons. There is a luncheon next Thursday. I think that RSVP date is rapidly approaching. But membership is ongoing, so you can join at any time during the year. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Shelley Heinzman, and I am the president of Santa's Castle for the 2017 season. And the elves have been very busy all year, and they have sent me here today to invite everybody to our open house, which will be on September 14th from 5 to 7. You stop by, we'll give tours, we'll be explaining more about our program, and we will have cake. So please stop by and help us eat the cake. Our important dates are September 14th, like I said, for our open house. Online applications for our program are September 25th through October 27th. Our program is a command referral program. That means all the soldiers and families and airmen that we help are referred by the chain of command. No one can do a self-referral for our program. So those are the dates. We go through our website to do the online referral process. We do have some leeway about the deadlines, but Santa does try to keep a very tight deadline going. But if a unit is deployed or TDY or whatever, we can definitely work around that. So during the month of November, that is the time when our service members will go ahead and make their appointments. It gives our inventory elves a chance to make sure we have enough of toys for each child. Last year, they served 2,210 children from 999 families. So we did an awesome job last year. And then November 27th through December 1st, and then December 4th through the 8th is our actual distribution. We serve those families in 2 weeks. So it's a pretty awesome thing to see if you guys ever get the chance to come. I am in need of unit reps from 1st Corps, 7th ID, 593rd, and if I can get one from Garrison, that would be awesome too. That way what we do is we send out the information about the referrals, the referral process, and then it trickles down to chain of command, the command teams. That way they can get, none of the soldiers are left out that are struggling. So they asked us to remember Santa. The one thing I really, really want to stress is to notify the service member that you have nominated. Oftentimes we'll get the referrals and the service member doesn't realize they've been nominated, and then when they get an email or a call, and we do text too, they don't have any idea who we are. They think we're spamming them. So please share that information with them. And T for teamwork. Santa's Castle is only a part of the process. We really need the unit's help. If you want to get a hold of me on the invitation, it has secretary at JBLMSantasCastle.org. That's if you need to make an appointment. We will give tours. Other than at open house, you can make an appointment, bring a bunch of first sergeants to have them come, and we'd be happy to explain the program and give them a tour. Or you can reach me personally at president@jblmsantascastle.org. So, thank you.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
If you want to be an elf, can you give us information on how, is that eligible to service members, any volunteer, or just family members, children, ages? Can you give some of that information, please?
Anyone can volunteer. Children, we do ask that they are 15 or older. That is kind of the guideline that we've set for children in the building. So at our open house, we also ask that children are left at home because we have a building full of toys. And it's kind of hard to keep our husbands from playing with them. So, you know, but anybody can be. And next month, I will send out the dates for, we'll have an elf training. And then we'll also have sign up for volunteers because we use about 200, go through about 200 volunteers each year. And also, I'm glad she asked that question because she reminded me, we do need a volunteer coordinator if anybody's interested or if they know somebody who's interested. We will handle the ELF training this year since I know there are a lot of new people this year. But please, if you know of anybody who could really use a job, we're happy to, a volunteer job, we're more than happy to accommodate. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Karen Tusing, and I'm the chairman of the Thrift Shop Board.
Many of the commanders are new this summer, so you might not be aware of how much our thrift shop contributes to the community. We support scholarships, schools, and other community organizations on post. During the last 7 years, we've annually contributed an average of over $100,000 to the community in schools and scholarships and even unit organizations. This year alone, we provided $70,000 in scholarships through the JBLM Scholarship Fund, which is about 2/3 of the total amount. And 30,000 of those scholarships, $30,000 was earmarked for spouse scholarships this year. Next slide, please. And how can we do this? We do this by selling your donated items. We also accept consignments where you receive a portion of what you're selling and we receive a portion. I apologize, this is a little misleading. We don't necessarily sell $11,000 items in a month, but in a typical month, we sort through donations, we put price tags on these items, and a typical month we price about 11,000 items. Because of the PCS season, we get a lot more in the summer, and for instance, in June, we sorted through more than 46,000 items. Those are just the items that were sellable. So we tend to find ourselves very full, and we need you to come and shop. If you're ever in the market for some home decor or a new coffee pot, or a used coffee pot, rather, please come to the thrift shop. We employ 9 dependents. Some are spouses and some are young adults whose parents are in the military. We survive based on the volunteers that we have. Some are volunteering practically full-time. Others come and go as they need to, but we average about 500 hours a month in volunteer hours. We are in the market for a larger building on post. We're bursting at the seams with all of our wonderful donations, and we are having sales all the time. Today we have a 40% off clothing and books, and we do appreciate all of our volunteers and our shoppers and the donors who give their great stuff. Please continue to give us your sellable, clean items, and that can help us continue to give back to the community. Next slide, thanks. We're located at Building 2070 and 2071. We have 2 buildings side by side on Pendleton Avenue. That's between 4th Street and North Division Street. We're open. I know these hours aren't great for most people who work, but if you want to shop during your lunch break, we'd appreciate that too. But we're open Tuesdays through Thursdays from 9 to 2:30. Typically the first Saturday of the month, but because of Labor Day, we are going to be open this Saturday from 10 to 2. And if you are interested in volunteering, there's something I didn't put on the slide. If your spouse or you have people in your units whose spouses would like to volunteer, but they have young children, we do pay for hourly care for volunteers. So please put that word out, because I remember when my kids were young, I didn't volunteer very much because I would have had to pay for 2 kids in childcare just to volunteer. So we do provide refunds for childcare if you use the on-post childcare, hourly care, or family home care. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
All right, so that wraps up our community update. Please mark your calendar. The next one will be October 4th here in this building at 9:30, and I will turn it back over to Colonel Lucas.
Okay. Wow, so that was a lot. Before we close, I want to ask first, are there any questions that you didn't ask?
Ma'am,
Yes.
right here, Sergeant Major Tag.
Thanks, Sergeant Major.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, that was weak. Hey, it's hump day, right? And you had a 3-day weekend, some of you 4, so get motivated. Good morning. Good morning. That's better. Hey, to all the agencies here on post, I believe this is the best joint base in the Army because of your leadership and because of the people here. That's what makes it really, really well. So thank you for that. Second of all, I want to recognize 2 soldiers that competed. You know, this base competed in Forces Command last week, and we won. Sergeant First Class Shannon from 7th ID won the Best NCO of the Year for Forces Command, and Specialist Williams, who represented the 593rd MPs, he came in 2nd place. But Sergeant First Class Shannon is going to represent JBLM into the Army competition coming up, and they'll get recognized during the AUSA convention. So great job to both soldiers, and I want to continue to compete in the Army level or other Forces Command level to ensure that we represent, JBLM is represented well. The second thing is that we are missing something in here that's very dear to my heart. You know, it's the one that says, you know, you complete me. It's the BOSS program. We want to know what the BOSS program is doing because they're financed to do things. And to keep our soldiers away from the streets in the weekends at night, we want to ensure that they are aware of what's going on, what's the BOSS program is doing that weekend, because they do finance trips for them. They get to go places where, you know, like us, where we don't go. But so if we can include the BOSS president speak during this time so we all know. And it's shame on us if all this information does not go down to the lowest level. We can sit here and we can talk a lot of good things, but if it never goes down to the soldiers and the young spouses at the team squad level, you know, we're not doing any justice for our soldiers. So please share all this information that we received today to the soldiers. Well, thank you.
Sergeant Major, sir, I'm on track with you. First note here, BOSS. Next time they will be introduced because they are directly impacting positively the quality of life of your soldiers and your airmen. So what I want to make sure is that we did not get a chance to put it in the slide because we just had the BOSS installation meeting yesterday, and we found out that we had $3,000 left over in the FY money. So I'm letting the leadership know, and your BOSS reps should be letting you know, so we get it from both sides. On September 30th, it's a Saturday, there's going to be a BOSS block party / talent show with music and free food right here. We're going to work out the details, but that's going to be the last BOSS event on the last day of the FY. But I want to make sure that we're highlighting their efforts because they've been taking a lot of trips with our service members, and they've been doing a lot of things to build resiliency just by having fun. And I'm going to get off that soapbox for a minute here. And last is, we didn't put the flyer out here, but it has gone out, and again, with the guidance we received, it'll go out again. The CG Golf Scramble on the 15th of September at Whispering Firs. Now, I've talked to a few leaders who said, well, I don't golf very well. All right, so I'm going to kind of share a story. Last golf tournament I went with, it was with the previous garrison chaplain, and I was the third in our 4-man team, and we got to about the 5th or 6th hole, and chaplain gets up there and he hits it, good on him, and then the people over here start yelling, and we all kind of look and maybe, oh, they're yelling 4 or something, they're yelling something. Couldn't understand them. Then the second guy gets up, he hits, and then they start yelling again. It's like, what the heck are they yelling about? All right, whatever. I'm the third one now. I get up, I hit, and honest to God, 240 yards. Bam, nailed it. In the exact opposite direction that we were supposed to be teeing off. So I spent more time in the woods. I found 13 golf balls, and the chaplain did go get the ball for me. I appreciate that. But please, come on out and have some fun with us. It's going to be on the 15th over at the Whispering Firs, and then in October, it'll be on the 13th over at Eagles Pride. And we're doing Whispering Firs first because it will allow us enough time to finish the renovation over at the Eagles Pride, and we'll be able to enjoy the Sam Adams and all that other stuff that's over there. So I look forward to chasing some golf balls with you, and I'll see you there.
Thanks, Sergeant Major. So lastly, I'm going to just, before I hand this over to General Valesky, I want to say, if you have a question that you didn't ask, please find one of the briefers here. We're going to stick around right here. Or if you are leaving unsatisfied, please give us the feedback on this or in any form that you want so that we can make this. I mean, this is our community update, so help me with that so that we're making sure that we're addressing the right topics here so that you leave here with this being time well spent. Sir, over to you.
The last thing I'd say is thanks again for coming. I'd like to keep this briefing to about 45 minutes and then spend 15 minutes just going around the room asking you what's on your mind. I'd even go probably 50 minutes. You know what I mean? I know Buck James will want to take next time, 15 or 20.
Happy to be here, sir.
How you doing, Buck? Stay motivated. All right. You keep getting after it. But I'm serious about increasing the dialogue. I appreciate the questions. I also want to highlight the award winner today for their own little placard. You can see America's Cab. I think that's pretty awesome. You got that one nice? So there you go. What I would say is we're all members of a great joint base. And so what I want to make sure is, we've got our core motto. Every division's got its own motto, but remember, the motto for ours is that we're America's joint base, and you're all part of it. And so I'd ask you, I do agree with what my Sergeant Major says clearly. This is the best joint base, and I don't think it's just the best Army joint base. I think it's the best joint base. But it's only going to be good if we all care about it and we get after it. So thanks for all you do. Have a great day.